Nestled in the Estes Valley of Colorado lies the Stanley Hotel, a historic hotel that holds a lot of secrets, whether that be living or dead. Do the spirits of those who once stayed there still roam the halls? Was The Shining based on any true facts? Join us today as we look at the Stanley Hotel.
All right, everyone, welcome back to
Unknown,
Unsolved
unseen.
Triple U.
Woohoo! Welcome back, everyone. Episode 31. I'm Frank,
I'm Sage.
and we are your hosts. And with a third host today, Atlas the puppy, who won't stop knocking stuff over.
Yes. So.
Took him on a walk before this. Well, a walk and a jog to try and tire him out. He's like panting a lot. He drank plenty after, and he's like tired, but then he's like, oh, cords. Let me knock them all over.
Yes.
He is,
He's a good boy, though.
yeah.
Any announcements for today?
Well, I do have some announcements. The normal type of events are going on. So if you guys are interested, May 3rd in Asbury Park, there's the New Jersey Devil Festival. There's also on April 26th, which is this upcoming Saturday, is Bigfoot and Brews at ABC Brewing in Coatesville, PA. I'm thinking Sage and I are probably going to be going and stopping there. What else is going on soon? You got the Pennhurst Paracon coming up May 16th and 17th. Sage and I will be at that one. We're really looking forward to that. I'm super excited to go to that. Are you?
Yeah, I'm really excited.
Yeah, that's going to be crazy. I don't know what to expect, but I'm really looking forward to it. Then we have on the weekend of June 12th to the 15th, you got quite a few things going on. There is the Windy City Pear Fest in Chicago, and if you want to go to that one, tickets are available online. If you can't make it there but want to watch it, there is a live stream, and the link to the tickets will be on our show notes. And if you use code UUU, you get $5 off your live stream tickets. And also on that weekend in Grafton, West Virginia, is the Grafton Monster Festival. And down in Virginia, I forget the name of the town, but there is Saucers Over Appalachia is going on, which I have that on our post for upcoming events. So go check that out if you guys are interested. And you don't have to hear about the Carbondale UFO game anymore because that is done. But we got some really cool swag from it. And that's what I had for the announcement at the moment, Sage. Let's get into the fun stuff of today. Before I get, well, let me tell you, we're going over the Stanley Hotel today. We're going to be traveling out to Colorado, specifically Estes Park in the Estes Valley. Another new state for the podcast.
I've always wanted to go.
Now, do you know anything about the Stanley Hotel?
That's what The Shining is based off of, right?
Yep.
Because Stephen King was staying there?
I talk about that here.
That's like pretty much what I know. Not gonna lie. I have seen The Shining.
With me.
I hated it because it was scary. So are there trigger warnings for this? I know there's some shit in The Shining that would need some trigger warnings.
But... yeah, no, nothing really needed for here.
Okay.
So today we're going to be going over one of the many cool Stanley things in the world, like the Stanley Cup, the other Stanley Cup, and Flat Stanley.
Those are the only Stanleys you could think of.
What's another Stanley?
Stanley.
You know what? Good point.
That's the guy who
Yeah, I know.
wrote Marvel, right?
Yeah, I did not even think of that. I was thinking about strictly the word Stanley, not Stan Lee, because it's just good point.
Look at me.
Speaking of
Good points.
Speaking of Stanley Cup playoffs start today. Blues and Jets is on right now in the background up here with no sound. Cool, man, this is a tight one. Blues are up 3-2 against the Jets.
Yes, I don't know who I am without hockey, so.
As you've heard many times on here, we are big hockey fans, and man, this game has been an exciting one. Shout out to the Blues for making that comeback after the Four Nations face-off. We could have a side podcast for hockey, but I don't think we'd know enough for that.
Oh, that'd be so fun.
You already said what you know about Stanley Cup, so we'll get right into it then.
About the Stanley Cup?
Sorry, the Stanley Hotel.
I do know about the Stanley Cup.
Yeah, but which Stanley Cup?
Well, the one in my hand. It's green. It's got a little bear with a crown on it.
So many Stanley things in the world nowadays.
But yet, Yeti couldn't allow for Utah to be the Utah Yetis because that's copyright infringement.
Ripperoni, pepperoni.
Stanley wasn't mad about it.
I'm pretty sure Stanley Cup, like hockey, came first. All right. Quick thing, all sources can be found in the show notes for today's episode. I didn't use as many sources because every source basically said the same exact thing almost verbatim. So some of them I just closed and did not use. All right. So as per usual, on something like this, we need to go over the history of the location first before we get into anything, because that's, the crux of whatever's happening. Without the history, you really have no idea what's going on and have no basis to base, anything on. Wow, that was such a weird sentence.
I picked up what you were putting down, though.
So, the Stanley Hotel is located in Estes Valley of Colorado. This land used to be home to the Ute and Arapaho tribes of indigenous people. The land would eventually be settled by Westerners and become Estes Park. And Estes Park would at one point be owned by a Irish earl and then eventually turn hands. The story of the hotel starts over 100 years ago. So this place is old as dirt. All the way back in 1903, a man from Maine known as Freeland Oscar Stanley, who was an inventor, came to Estes Valley. He was suffering from tuberculosis, also known as consumption at the time. He was weakened by it at that point, and he decided to stay a summer at Estes Valley, and he saw his health improve while out there. Due to this, he made a commitment. Him and his wife would come back there every summer for the rest of their lives.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, but this is a rich guy from the East Coast who's used to a lavish life. Estes Valley doesn't really have that to offer for them. Sorry about that pause there. Atlas just jumped against the wall, basically.
Is it Nestes or Estes?
Estes.
Oh, okay.
Estes.
Okay.
And with him and his wife coming back, there's something missing. And as I said, it was nothing like the East Coast. They were familiar and accustomed to the more sophisticated life that they were used to living. So they figured the best way would be to bring that East Coast lifestyle out to Estes Park. And what they did was they built a grand hotel. And this decision came, I think it was like 1903 or 1904 that they were going to build a hotel. By 1909, the grand hotel that is the Stanley Hotel was finally opened. The first guest arrived in steam-powered cars designed by Stanley himself.
Wow.
Yeah, he made steam-powered cars. He sold like certain inventions to Kodak, and that's how he got a lot of his money.
What about it makes it East Coast style? Is it the architecture?
Well, like Estes Park is like, not very highly populated then. It's a small town. It's beginning of the 20th century. No electricity out there, not much of that stuff. Kind of just like rural, middle of nowhere lifestyle. Some lodges, cabins, small town, nothing major. Now, this hotel cost $500,000 to build. So the hotel was top of the line. It had electricity, telephones, in-suite bathrooms, a fleet of cars for staff and guests, and a large uniformed staff. So this hotel was top of the line. It had all the, amenities for that day and age. And that was something they just did not have in Estes Park before this. This was unheard of having these type of amenities there, especially in a large hotel. And this hotel was large, comprising 11 buildings.
Wow. I did not know that it was 11 buildings.
Yeah. Now, I
Is
forgot.
it 11 buildings in the movie?
I don't.
Is it filmed at the exact?
No, it's not. So I was going in. It's filmed in a place, I believe, in England.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say because that's like the hotel I'm picturing in my head.
Yeah, I'm going to get to there about the hotel in the book and the movie. This place was advanced, and on top of that, it helped the local community too. By 1917, so that's 8 years after it opened, the local municipality had grown and included waterworks, a power plant, and multiple civic services now that were not there. These are linked to the growth that came from the Stanley Hotel itself. So this hotel became like the center of the community, helping it grow and expand, which great to hear that type of stuff. Now, during all this, in 1911, because they didn't have the power plant yet, the electricity wasn't always reliable. So they actually had gaslighting in some of the places as backup. And I believe it was Stanley himself who installed, I think, all the lights, is what one source said.
This guy's like really involved in this hotel.
Yep. Yeah, he
like hands-on. I mean,
he put a lot of effort into this. Between fleets of his own steam-powered cars to actually like coming out there constantly to putting lights in. He was very involved in this place, him and his wife both. So, in 1911, with these gas lines, the local infrastructure just couldn't fully support what was all needed yet, and the pipes were filled on June 25th, and on that day, an explosion occurred.
Uh-oh.
Yep. This injured a maid and several other workers. It resulted in $50,000 worth of damage.
Do you know what that is today?
No.
But this is in the early 1900s?
1911, yeah. And by 1909... Yep. And in 1909, this place was finished for a cost of $500,000. So that was 10% of the cost immediately in damages 2 years into it being opened.
Wow.
Yeah. Now, there's an interesting connection to back home here. The maid was Elizabeth Wilson, and some reports have that she was from our neck of the woods, Lancaster, PA, or in Philly. It's one of those two areas where she's from.
Oh,
some said Lancaster, some said Philly. But the reason why it's so close here is I believe the first place to report on it was the York Dispatch, which is still, I believe, ongoing today. So York, PA was first to report on it. So then Lancaster, PA was reporting on it. But those are the places that were reporting on this explosion. So this maid got injured in that explosion. She broke both her ankles from this explosion.
Oh my god.
But Stanley and the hotel paid for her recovery and paid her medical bills and everything.
Wow.
And she then would continue to work at the hotel until she died as the lead chambermaid until 1950.
Oh my gosh. So another almost 40 years?
Yeah. 39 more years after the explosion she would work there.
Wow. That's that's someone who takes good care of their employees. I get workers' comp and stuff is a thing.
Yep.
Now, but I'm gonna assume it wasn't then, right?
No.
Because that wasn't until I'm assuming when OSHA and shit came
a lot of that stuff came Sinclair's book, The Jungle, where they talked about kids and meat processing and stuff. That was when was The Jungle written? Because that is one of the marking areas about, let me see, Upton Sinclair is who wrote that. That was in 1906, so this is actually about that time of workers getting more rights, but still not as much as what you'd think. Like, workers' rights still evolved more as time went on, but yeah, we're in the time where some stuff is being noticed. But he cared about his workers, which is what I like to hear.
Yeah.
So by the 1970s, though, the hotel began to struggle. There are times where the hotel was owned by Stanley, then sold to somebody else, and then he'd rebuy it because people mismanaged it. But as time went on, the hotel did not update well with age. It didn't get as many guests because it was only open in the warm months and was closed for the winter every year.
Oh.
And
that would be why it was closed for the winter in the movie.
Yep, well, there's an interesting correlation to that. But if it is now open year round because it does have heating now.
I would hope so. It's 2025.
Yeah. But I mean, you could have still had heating in the 70s, but they just didn't, and they were not making much money.
For 11 buildings.
Yeah, but they just weren't having a lot of people coming, so funding wasn't doing well for it, and it was in jeopardy. So, what would help this place? A fateful visitor. In 1974, Stephen King and his wife stayed at the Stanley Hotel. As many were leaving, they were there right before the winter shutdown. With winter coming, they checked in, and they were the only guests staying that night.
Were they only there for one night?
I believe so, yeah.
Like the last night?
Yep. So They were there. No other guests were there, but staff was there.
In 74, he was already married?
Yeah.
What year was Stephen King born?
Let's see. Stephen... Oh, he had a 3-year-old son at that point. Let me see. Stephen King. He was born in 1947.
1947?
So he would be...
He's like 78.
77 currently.
Dang, he knows how to use like the tech real well. He's very good at tweeting.
Yeah.
Or Xing. Whatever the fuck you call it. I don't know.
I'm still tweeting my book in my mind, and it always will
For an old man.
What he is...
God bless the king.
He's still writing books.
Did you hear the pun I made?
What?
Like, God bless the king.
God save the king. Stephen King, that is.
Yeah. Yeah, not the royal one.
So he would have been 27 at the time.
Wow.
And he had 2 novels already out at the time. I forget which. I think it's
27.
I think it is.
God, and I'm almost 27, and I feel like
Carrie and Salem's Lot were out, which are both 2 of his best books.
I was gonna say Carrie's like one that even I know.
Yeah, and Salem's Lot's a big one. Now, he would stay in room 217, which is the presidential suite. While there, as I said, they were the only guests, and King had the opportunity to walk around the hotel, just him by himself. He gotta go to like the restaurant or like where food, like where people would be seated for food in the cafe, where all the chairs were up on the tables, everything was getting packed away, so it was like it had this eerie feel to it. And the hotel was just like kind of creepy with almost nobody there, and how it was being packaged up to basically be done for the season, and he just got to wander around freely.
Wow.
So whilst he was here, he was inspired because while he was in the room 217, which is a notorious room for its hauntings, he was afflicted by nightmares. One of his 3-year-old son being chased around by a coiled fire hose throughout the empty halls of the Stanley Hotel.
Ew.
Yeah, kind of creepy.
A coiled fire, like one that rolled up?
Yeah, I guess so. But while he was there, and also while he was in the evening just looking out at everything, it inspired him. And he got all the bones he needed to write The Shining, which would be his 3rd novel and a hit. Enough of a hit that it would become a major motion picture, and also of the same name, The Shining, which we have watched.
Isn't Carrie a picture too?
Yep. Salem's Lot, Carrie, Cujo, The Shining. There's a lot of Stephen King things that are now movies.
Yeah.
So that is what that is what inspired him. And with this, there was renewed interest in the hotel because
That's awesome.
it was known that in The Shining, it's the Overlook Hotel. That the Stanley Hotel was the inspiration.
Okay.
And when you have a hit book and a hit movie, everyone's going to be checking that out then. All right. This visit definitely this visit from Stephen King changed the entire trajectory of the hotel.
I love when stuff like that happens. I mean, we talk about that with like the festivals for the cryptids that come into town, like the things that rejuvenate, like things that need the money, like historic things that need money to stay alive.
Like Carbondale, the town of Carbondale got a huge boost probably from the Carbondale UFO Festival.
Yeah, and the game was a hit too, so I'm sure that helped as well.
I mean, you just saw how many people they sold out of almost everything they planned on selling for the Carbondale UFO Festival, which is great to see. Yeah, the jerseys, a lot of people got those, which I love mine. Yeah. I mean, Albert Witch brings out a lot of people every year in York. The Mothman Festival, I'm pretty sure, keeps the town of Point Pleasant afloat because so many people go there.
Yeah, exactly.
It is absurd how much money this stuff brings into places, and I love that stuff. Whether it be ghost stuff, cryptids, aliens, I love just the culture behind it and how it can reflect in, like, keeping stuff afloat, and people can, like, actually get jobs in this field.
Mm-hmm.
So the movie was actually filmed at a place in, trying to think of the word. So the actual filming for it took place, I believe it was in England at a different hotel or lodge, I believe it was. I forget where it was. I actually should have put that down in my notes. But overall, it was still all based around the Stanley Hotel. Besides, like, the maze was not a thing. Because do you remember that? Jack froze in the maze.
Kind of. It's been, like, I'm going to be real honest that I probably blocked some of that movie out because...
So there's the hedge maze, and that's where Jack froze. And actually, because of that, the Stanley Hotel has added a hedge maze on its property because of the movie.
Is it, like, one you can actually go through?
Yeah, I believe so. I didn't check to see if you could go through it or not. I assume you can.
Oh, that's cool.
But they modeled it after the movie, which is cool. I do like to see that. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I need to bring up about the movie right now. I have more planned for later. I think I'll keep it for later. So now it still stands in Estes Park, Colorado, and it's doing quite well. It has 140 rooms, and it has over 14,000 square feet to it.
Wow.
It is made of, as I said, 11 structures, including the main hotel, the concert hall, the lodge, carriage house, and more. There's like a bed and breakfast manor on the property. I believe that's part of the lodge. I forget that was different. And the place is just beautiful. I've been there before for a visit. Not stayed there, but I've been there.
Yeah, I think I remember you telling me about that.
Yeah. It's a beautiful place to go to.
Because I think your dad, was with your dad? I'm assuming like with your parents when you were out west.
Yep. I would love to go there again.
I don't know that I could stay there knowing what I know about it, though.
Oh, I would love to stay there.
Maybe, well, I guess if I'm doing like for purposes of an investigation, I'd be able to. But if I'm going there for like a hotel stay, like vacation stay, I don't know that I can do it with what I am going to find out, maybe.
Fair enough. So, with that all being said, are you ready for the spooky?
Always.
Let's get into the spooky. So the Stanley Hotel is alleged to be one of the most haunted hotels in America. The most haunted hotel in America does go to the Crescent Hotel and Spa, which we did cover before. I'm just going to put this in here. We totally just had to cut out like 1 or 2 minutes because the Blues Winnipeg game just had a big fight with 18.6 seconds in the game, and now they're assessing all the penalties with 8.6, trying to figure out the order that shit went down.
Yeah, that's funny. Okay.
All right.
That's what we watch hockey for.
Yep. As I said, the Crescent Hotel and Spa is considered the most haunted hotel in America, which we covered in an episode, I believe it was 5 of the podcast. Yeah, 5 should have been Crescent Hotel and Spa. Now we are going on to one that does rival it. So there
Right.
seems to be many visitors that have checked in and never checked out of here. Just kidding. I don't think many of these ghosts are visitors, which is weird.
What do you
Like, I don't know where some of these come from.
Oh, okay.
So Freeland Oscar Stanley and his wife Flora love this place, and some say they still reside at the Stanley Hotel. So Freeland Oscar Stanley, also known as F.O. Stanley, is still claimed to be seen around the hotel. So O.F. Stanley can specifically be seen sometimes in the mirrors of the billiards room, the bar, and sometimes the lobby too, or he's just seen milling about the lobby. So he is often seen in those areas.
Did you see who just walked off?
Who?
Stanley.
Damn. Stanley just walked off the Stanley Cup playoff games, guys.
That's funny.
There is another Stanley at play here.
This is Stanleyception.
Oh my goodness.
We're
So much
talking
Stanley.
about the Stanley Hotel and the Stanley Cup while also watching the Stanley Cup finals, and we just watched Stanley get in a fight and then get ejected from the game.
Stanley upon Stanley upon Stanley tonight. It is a Stanley type of night, guys.
Yeah.
With your Stanley Cup on your desk. Where was I again? Oh, yeah. So, F.O. Stanley is just one of the many ghosts, and he's similar to many other types of ghosts of original owners of places who wonder about. Similar to how people talk about Walt Disney being seen at Disney World or Milton Hershey being at Hershey Park. Sometimes creators just love to keep seeing their creations.
Mm-hmm.
Which I like those types of like ghost descriptions of just the original founder who just keeps on, walking by.
He's still got work to do.
Exactly. Flora likes to stick actually around the concert hall and play the piano. She is sometimes seen as well in the concert hall, but she'll leave the scent of roses in her wake when she's around. So that's how you'll know she was there. You either hear her or smell the roses. So there are also plenty of haunted rooms in this hotel. Now, we're going to first look at one that everyone talks about, room 217. If you remember, we talked about that earlier. That's the one Stephen King stayed in.
Mm-hmm.
Which some places will cite it wrong as being room 237. Because it was changed to room 237 in the movie and the book. So I actually, one of the sources I was reading cited it was room 237. I'm like, no, that's wrong.
Did he say why he changed it?
I have no idea. I think it's just he didn't want to connect the room at first, but it all comes out in time. So this is where Stephen King stayed where he got his inspiration for The Shining. When sitting there, as I mentioned earlier, he was plagued by nightmares of his son being chased around the empty halls by a coiled fire hose. But others have had more interesting experiences in there than Stephen King's more mundane one in comparison. Many claim the maid Elizabeth Wilson, who we mentioned earlier, likes to keep the room nice and tidy. Guests' belongings will be mysteriously unpacked when they aren't there, either over the night when they're sleeping or when they're out and about. And even if it's unpacked, it might be folded up and put away.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, so she was like so thankful for like him helping her that she was like, I'll help you in the afterlife too. Make sure your hotel stays tip top shape.
Yep. One couple claimed that the bed was made in the middle of the night while they were sleeping in it.
I have done that to you.
Oh, thank you.
Like, I actually have a picture of it because you were like still sleeping and it was like late on a Saturday morning and I was awake and I made the bed with you in it.
I don't think we'll get that anymore with little Atlas here.
No, he likes to chew the blankets.
Yeah, I hope his teething is done. He just lost a molar recently, so that means he, lost another tooth, which is good. He's a puppy guy, so he has to lose his baby teeth. All of us mammalians have to do that.
Yeah.
So back to here, there are also not as pleasant experiences with Elizabeth Wilson. If you go as a couple, you better make sure you're married. Because if an unmarried couple stay there, they have reported having a chilling presence while there. And some single men will find their luggage outside the room.
Actually, what do they call it? Premarital?
Yeah, they don't. She doesn't like
Mm.
premarital, or the bachelor life. You better get hitched, boys.
Hey, we're safe then.
So
Woo!
get married before you go to room 217. And some even claim to see a woman in old-fashioned maid attire. What did I say? Attire in or around the room at certain times. This is mostly by staff who report this.
Hmm.
But another notable person has also stayed in this room, and this was Jim Carrey.
Did he do it on purpose?
Yes, he specifically requested this room. He was there in the 90s filming the comedy classic, I believe it was 90, Dumb and Dumber. Because part of it was filmed at the Stanley Hotel.
I did not know that.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, I learned that from this too.
Did it say what part?
No, I don't remember. But they were filming it at the hotel, and Carrie requested room 217. Upon being in the room for 3 hours, it's claimed that something happened to Carrie, and that he ran out of the room, scared and terrified. Same things. I don't know why I wrote both. And to this day, he hasn't told anybody about what he has experienced.
Whoa.
But
And he's like a talker.
Yep.
I mean, I love Jim Carrey, but like he's like a talker, so.
Well, he's quit acting, unless the role is something really good.
Yeah.
By that I mean he's played in the last 3 Sonic movies.
Must be.
So he said he's only playing for like masterpieces and stuff, and he's played in the last 3 Sonic movies.
And yet I have not seen any of them.
I've seen clips of them. The third one looks pretty funny.
Maybe we'll have to watch them.
There's 2 characters played by Jim Carrey, Dr. Eggman and his grandfather, and they're like, we'll be on screen at the same time. And I think at one point he's like, "Isn't it weird?" Or no, isn't it like there's 2 actors? No, what? Sorry, I think it's 2 characters played by the same actor because he didn't want to get another actor. Wouldn't that be peculiar or something like that? And that's what they did.
Breaking the fourth wall.
They broke the fourth wall on that one. I forget what it was because I only saw the clip.
There is not a better movie with Jim Carrey than The Grinch.
There's a lot of good Jim Carrey movies.
Yeah, I like The Mask,
which is right there.
Oh, I was like, what do you mean? Oh, I'm in the background. I have clips of the podcast, The Basement Yard, which go check them out. They're hilarious. They talk about nothing and everything all at the same time. Don't go there for information that you actually need to know because they have no idea what they're talking about the majority of the time. But anyway, Frankie, the one guy on it, is literally wearing the Mask shirt. He loves the mask. And Frank pointed at it and was like, it's right there. And I was like, what do you mean we do not have this mask in the house? And then I saw it.
Yep.
But yeah, no, the Grinch is so good. Frank doesn't like it. He doesn't like the live action one. He prefers
I like the animated. I like the original Grinch. But also,
too, but
hey, I'm just saying, in the Grinch,
that's it. I'm not going.
He wears a hat, for a baseball hat for a U.S. Navy ship that was in Vietnam. The U.S. Navy therefore exists in Whoville, and that ship was deployed in Vietnam. For Vietnam to occur, there had to have been World War II. Therefore, there was a World War II and all of its atrocities, but in Whoville with Who's.
Yeah, I mean, if he has the hat, then likely at least him or someone he knows.
For that to exist,
a lot of things threw the hat out.
For that to exist, a lot of things had to happen in Whoville. Well, in the Whoverse before that hat could exist on Jim Carrey's Grinch.
That's fair. Okay. Anyway, please continue.
So, real quick, Sage, would you like to stay in room 217?
Am I trying to sleep or am I there to investigate?
Both.
Not for sleeping. Yes, to investigating.
All right, well, let's head up 2 more floors. Because if you want a different room, there's 3 more rooms on the 4th floor with notable encounters.
And this is 4 stories?
Yes. This is the top floor. And this floor has a lot of happenings going on to it compared to all the other floors. Now, some of you who may know this more might think I'm getting stuff wrong, and I might be, because a lot of sources mix up what happens in which room.
Okay.
Which is not ideal.
But they're all on the 4th floor.
Yep.
Okay.
First one I'm going to go into is room 407. I didn't do these in orders because I saw 401 after I already wrote 407.
That's okay.
So this room 407 is with a more eerie spirit, according to some. It is claimed that there might be, well, actually, not this part of the claim. I'm thinking there might be two spirits there based on what the reports. Because some people claim something tucks them in at night and sometimes sits at the edge of the bed. Now, the tucking in at night, that's more benevolent acting. Nice, kind.
That's usually more like female-esque too, motherly.
But the other part is more malevolent almost to an extent. Oh, I wouldn't say malevolent, but eerie. Sometimes people will feel something sit on the end of the bed, and when they turn on lights, no one is there, but there's an indent in the bed. And then there's a sighting of the Irishman in the corner, watching people creepily and without making a noise. That's weird.
I'd be very uncomfortable if I woke up to see a butt-shaped indent on my...
But what about a guy standing in your corner, though?
That's a typical night for me.
All right.
I'm just kidding. I wouldn't like that either.
The light will also potentially flicker at times as well, and people will see the face of the man who's in the corner, sometimes in the window. Some women even claim that something pulls on their hair. It is believed that this is the Irishman, who is Lord Dunraven, an Irish earl who once owned the land before Stanley built the hotel. And people did not like Lord Dunraven.
He has a name that makes it sound like people wouldn't like him.
Now, Lord Dunraven's a real person, though.
Sorry. Rest in...
What?
Rest in peace or rest in distress?
I'm just saying he is like a real person. It's not like... Because there's some out here that become more iffy on if they're real. The next room that we're going to go to is 401, which is possibly creepier. This room is claimed to have an unknown male ghost in it, but some say it might be the Irishman as well. This one gets a bit frisky. So, this ghost will inappropriately touch women when they go to the closet, which I don't think anyone wants.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah. Sometimes also the hair of women will be yanked and jewelry will be hidden. And he is not as kind to men. Well, he hates men more by the sounds of it. What? He's not kind to women, but he despises men because there's one man who claims his wedding ring was dropped down the drain by some unknown force when he watched something. His wedding ring was just there on the sink and was pushed into it by some unknown force and went down the drain and he lost it.
First of all, don't put your wedding ring or any kind of jewelry on the bathroom sink. Find somewhere else to put it. Second of all, what is the male version of a succubus?
Incubus, or no, mancubus?
So, I find it fascinating when there are, like, ghosts or, phenomenon.
Incubus is a male form of a succubus. So I was right on my first one.
That has sexualized behaviors. Like, that's so interesting to me. Like, it's horrible, don't get me wrong. But it's very fascinating to me that that's something that can even exist in this world, because obviously if you're involved in the paranormal world, you know that's a thing. That's why we have the terms succubus and incubus.
The mancubus is from Doom, in case you were wondering.
I wasn't, but thank you.
That is a Doom demon.
And they're sure that it's a man? Based
on what people believe. So the entity will be more unfriendly to men, like I said with with that encounter. They'll sometimes see other items that they brought just disappear and never be found.
That would piss me off so much.
Yep. Now the third room and on the fourth floor, and the final one we'll be going over, is room 428. This one is said to be haunted by a cowboy. Yeehaw!
Okay. You were saying that, and then, like you said, a cowboy, and I was like, oh, what sound do they make? And I couldn't figure it out in time, and you got me.
The natural sound of the cowboy. Yeehaw!
And here we observe the cowboy in its natural habitat.
Woohoo! Yeehaw!
I was going to try to make noises of a rodeo, and then I couldn't think of how to do that.
I just only think of yeehaw. Come on, little pony, or something like that.
You only got to make it 8 seconds on the bull.
Here, people will hear the sound of furniture moving and sometimes footsteps, and these noises typically come from the ceiling. There's no floor above them. Roof is above them.
And they're like, sure, it's footsteps. It's not some
That's
kind
what
of
people
like
hear.
creaking or something of the.
No, but it's like a thump, 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 thump.
There's nothing that the wind could do that would make that sound.
Probably not. So, this is an interesting one. Guests will then see a cowboy in the corner or possibly pacing around the bed, and sometimes he looms over people while they sleep.
What is this man's doing?
He is walking
Sir,
around.
go find a rodeo.
This would be quite horrifying to wake up to, I'll be honest.
I think it would be horrifying to wake up to a sight of anybody that is not someone you are expecting to be in your home. Like, I think of, like, my poor mother when I was a kid, and we'd go into her room and be like, I fruit up. Like,
I threw up,
even as an
Mom.
adult, like, even when I was older, like, in my teens, and I would go to, like, into her in the middle of the night for something, like, of the terror and shock that was on her face when she opened her eyes, because like she wasn't expecting to wake up to see someone standing my size, fully grown adult, standing there. For it to be something you don't freaking know, like that's not a family member, it's not someone you think's supposed to be there. That's horrifying.
I threw up, Mom.
Mom, I fruit up.
So this guy will also sometimes women will feel like a phantom lip brush against theirs.
Oh my
He's
god.
more seen by women than men.
All of like these men, like these male ghosts, or what as I'm assuming are male, like creepy man, like that's not consensual.
See, Stanley himself is the only good male ghost we've seen so far. All the other ones are creepy, and the maid and Flora Stanley have been good.
Yeah.
So this is all creepy in hell, in my opinion. Some say he is the outlaw Jim Rocky Mountain Nugent, and he is apparently somebody who opposed the land being sold to Lord Dunraven and was shot and killed due to that.
Wow.
People will feel something sitting at the end of their bed, as well as the lights flickering on and off here in this room, like the other two. So the whole entire somebody sitting at the end of the bed is attributed to I think all three of those rooms, but I think it's only supposed to be one or two of them. But it just becomes complicated.
Mm.
Besides the rooms of the fourth floor, there is also the history of it being used by nannies and children back in the day when children were supposed to be seen, not heard, or in this case, neither, and they were relegated to the fourth floor. So now people will hear children running and laughing on the fourth floor when there is nobody out in the hallways. Creepy.
Is that where the twins?
I think the twins. That's just a Stephen King creation.
Oh, okay.
So a lot of this haunting stuff came after his visit.
Okay.
That's when it got more popularized. Besides the rooms and floors, there are some other strange things, like the vortex. There's claimed to be a paranormal vortex on the main staircase that lets ghosts come and go whenever they want. There are many guests who capture pictures that claim to show ghosts on the stairs, and there are various claims as to why this alleged vortex exists. Some say it's from the magnetic quartz pillars in the lobby, but apparently that was disproven by some paranormal group, which I don't know how you disprove that or prove it to begin with. Native American burial ground, and the mirrors facing each other in the lobby. None of these can be proven. Of these three, there's no evidence of the Native American burial ground. Apparently, that was just like a rumor spread and said by one of the managers, but there's nothing to support that one. And that's such an easy cop out every time. Native American burial ground this, Native American burial ground that. Like,
Yeah.
That's what they always say.
I mean, there are a lot of those in the United States, but I can agree. Especially like even I'm thinking in Colorado too. Isn't that like is this
There-
like up in the mountains?
Well, like in the valley by the mountains.
Would it be cold enough that it'd be hard to dig year round?
Yeah. Oh, in the winter definitely, but not in the summer.
So like I'm wondering if
Yeah.
that would be
But
harder for a burial ground to
there
be
were
there.
2 tribes in the area, but there's no evidence to suggest this was ever a burial ground.
Okay.
Now, there's also ghosts reported in the underground tunnels of the hotel. Did you know there are underground tunnels? I mentioned them earlier. They go
Nope.
between some of the buildings, and
I'm assuming that's like easier for staff and stuff then.
Yep, and to make sure they weren't like as seen as much.
Oh.
So people will feel unexplained breezes down there. From time to time, they will smell baked goods as they walk along. The baked goods smell is thought to be from the ghost of a pastry chef. Some also claim to see a ghost cat down in the tunnels as well.
Nothing like being in a tunnel and smelling a very good pastry.
Yeah, I love I would love that type of ghost, and also ghost cat. That's cool. What?
This is literally so random, but the first thing that came to mind for me was Spider Pig. But I was
Spider
like,
Pig.
Ghost cat does
Spider
whatever a
Pig.
ghost cat
Spider
does.
Pig does whatever Spider Pig does. Can he swing from a web?
No, we can't because he's a pig.
Look out! Here comes Spider Pig.
Yeah, but I was thinking ghost cat does whatever a ghost cat does. Can he walk through the tunnel? No, we can't because he's dead.
Oh my goodness. I thought you were going to say, no, because he floats or something. Or like, can he walk through the wall? But now you're like, can he walk through the tunnel? No, he can't. Because he's dead. So, like, matter of factly.
Hold on, I gotta take a breath. I'm literally crying. Okay. God, I'm so funny.
He's dead. Ghost Cat said, a ghost cat died, and you're over here laughing.
The audacity of this bitch.
You think this is funny? There's a cat who died at some point in history, and you think this is funny?
Yeah, I'm allergic.
Rude. I'm allergic to dogs, but I don't wish death upon them.
We're just different people.
We're built different.
Yeah.
Atlas heard me say that, and he got a bit excited. Go back to sleep, boy. You're doing really great. All right, time to go through some more of these. The last specific place that we're going to be looking at is the concert hall. Flora Stanley is seen here occasionally, but others are too. There's a story of a woman named Lucy. The Stanley Hotel, as I said earlier, has been owned by multiple people, and during one of those periods, a woman named Lucy apparently snuck into the concert house and lived there for some time. The concert hall, and lived there for some time, and eventually was kicked out. But stories say that she froze to death, like Jack in The Shining. But this was in the 90s, so it had nothing to do with like inspiring The Shining.
Mm-hmm.
Lucy is claimed to still roam these concert halls. She can be heard whispering and sometimes open and closes the doors. However, a more major report is that of parties. The concert hall is still said to be host. You good there, Atlas? All right. The concert hall is still said to be host to many ghostly parties. People will hear the sounds of parties going on without anybody being there. Now, is something really happening there? Who knows? But when they get to the concert hall, the sound stops and they don't see anything or anybody there.
Was there any part of the movie that had the concert hall in it?
Yes, I believe there were a bunch of people dancing and he goes in, but there's actually not people there. It's all ghosts.
Okay. I was gonna say, because I remember like the bar and stuff. But...
Yeah. Crackhead dog. Don't give me those puppy dog eyes. I see you out there plotting our demise.
Damn, Frank's a rapper.
Oh yeah, I didn't even realize I rhymed. All right, so I'm going to go through a few stories that I've heard. These come from the Ghost Stories of the Estes Valley by Celeste Lasky. I got this book actually when I was there all those years ago, and it's a signed one.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh, that's cool. How long
yeah.
ago was that?
Ah, shit. Let me think. Let's see. Um, this is a really interesting judgment call, but I think Obama became president that year, so I think it was '08.
Wow, so you bought that book
Oh yeah, I found it in my sister's bookshelf in her
like
room
over a
last year,
decade and a
and I
half
asked
ago.
her if I could take it, and she said yeah.
Wow, that's really cool.
So,
See, guys, we didn't just start. Well, at least Frank didn't just start liking this stuff so he could have a
oh yeah,
podcast.
I've liked this stuff. I remember we went on the ghost tour when we were there, but I'll
Oh,
talk
that's
about
cool.
that later. So, with that being said, one of the stories goes about some chefs in the kitchen. Now, none of these are dated. The book was published in 1998, so it's before then, all these stories. This is only volume one. I don't know how many other volumes were made, but there are three chefs, and they are cleaning up after a Halloween party at 1 a.m. However, the guy who was reciting the story, the head chef, he heard a party going on, but nobody else did. And they thought he was crazy or hearing stuff, but he went and nobody was in the concert hall anymore. So he goes back to work, thinking he's crazy. And then the second guy starts hearing stuff too. And he goes and he sees nothing. And he's so confused of what's going on. And the third guy's like, you guys are just hearing stuff. You're psyching yourself out. And at one point, he looks a bit frantic and he goes too. And he's like, I heard it too. This is weird. And then he goes into a different part of the kitchen. He's like, guys, what the heck? Why are all the ovens turned on? And they claimed they turned them all off. So they turned off the ovens because they swore they turned them all off. Then a stack of plates fell to the floor, shattering, and other items started flying throughout the room.
Wow,
And then they were just like, nope, we're done. We're out. And they left for the night.
that's it. Instead of we are going. We're going now. Instead of that's it, I'm not going. That's it, we're going.
That's it. I'm going home. Fuck this shit.
Oh my
I'm
god,
out.
fuck this shit. I'm out.
So the next story then that I have is there was a guy who was there for I believe it was 3 nights, and in the bar every night there was this older woman who was by herself taking notes every night, and she would leave. But whenever on the third night he asked the bartender about, he said there was no one else there. There's no old lady there each night because he kept track of who was there. So he had no idea who this person was and who this guy claimed to see. And the last one I have from there that I'm going to tell is there was a woman who went there on her honeymoon with her husband. And this was before World War II, and they loved it there. He would then go to the war, he'd fight, and he would be shot down and killed. She got remarried, and she'd make it a thing to keep on going to the Stanley Hotel. And she would be seen there by a guest, oh no, sorry, by staff, talking to thin air to nobody, having a conversation. And she said that she made a promise to her husband, that her first husband, that she would come back there and see him. And this would happen in the lobby. And apparently sometimes she got flowers that nobody knew where they came from. And I think this connects to that idea that if there's a vortex there that any ghost can come freely through, what if she used that as a connection to her dead husband?
Oh,
Those
that's
are all
so
the
sad.
Yeah, those are the three main ghost stories I had. There's plenty of other things. Like I saw stuff on Reddit where people talk about doors closing behind them on ghost tours, eerie feelings, those type of things that you typically associate with any haunted place.
Do you think that like it's hard to go to that kind of place and do those tours if you have the bias from the movie?
I think so.
Okay.
And the place does lean into the movie too.
Oh,
But
it
I
does.
remember when I went there, I was a kid at the time, but I did ask how often do ghost sightings happen, and they said at least one a day somebody reports something.
Wow.
So it's very common there.
So that's a lot. Like even for places that are super haunted, it's not that often.
Yep, and I believe I was told like sometimes there's like glowing orbs that go up and down the stairs. I'm trying to think because like, man, I was like 10 years old at the time.
Yeah.
So I was a youngin back then. So yeah, I do remember the little bits and pieces, but I remember we went on a ghost tour because I'm now going to go into like what the hotel does nowadays with it.
Okay.
They embrace this. They do ghost tours and paranormal hunts. You can do overnight stuff. You can do ghost tours. There's packages you can buy that are geared towards it when you go there.
Does that include the specific rooms that are?
I don't know because the rooms are still rentable. Like you can still,
like I'm wondering if you can
they let you know
choose.
about them, but they don't take you through them. They do take you through the underground tunnels because I remember those.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. I remember going there. I don't remember what all else has it because you're in an active hotel.
Yeah, it's giving me Death Shoot vibes from
Yeah.
Waverly Hills.
But you don't have to like stay at the hotel to do the tours because we didn't stay at the hotel. We stopped there while we were visiting because we were going through the Rocky Mountains National Park, and this is only 5 miles out of the national park entrance.
Mm.
So it's a really cool. Like it's if you're going to do the Rocky Mountains, you might as well do that too.
Yeah.
So yeah, they embrace this. They have gone with it. They sell stuff there regarding it. That's where we got our ghost stories of the Estes Valley book for some of these stories I said and some of the information I got. But they really lean into it, which I love when places do that. So this is a place that goes with it. Along with it, this place also has gone in pop culture through various things. As I'd mentioned, in pop culture, this inspired The Shining, the book, Doctor No Sleep, which is also a book by Stephen King. I believe it's a movie too.
Ooh.
That's also, I think it's Doctor. Let me see. Doctor Sleep or no? I think it's Doctor Sleep. Sorry, Doctor Sleep, which is inspired by this hotel as well. I think it's a prequel or a sequel to The Shining. But Doctor Sleep and The Shining are both inspired by the Stanley Hotel.
Sleep, not Doctor No Sleep.
Doctor No Sleep was a live show hosted by the No Sleep podcast at the Stanley Hotel.
Oh, okay.
So that's also in pop culture. The Stanley Hotel has been host to many things and inspired many others. As I said, it was Dumb and Dumber filmed parts of their stuff there. The No Sleep podcast did a live show there. The Emperor of Japan and the Crown Prince on their state visit to the U.S. stayed there in 1994. It was the filming for the Shining miniseries in 1996. They actually filmed it there. So for the Shining miniseries in 96. It also has inspired many other things like that have been inspired by The Shining, not necessarily The Shining. Like The Simpsons has done a Treehouse of Horror parody episode on The Shining, therefore connected to Stanley Hotel. The movie Ready Player One has a part about The Shining, so another reference to Stanley Hotel. So this place has permeated quite heavily into popular culture. The hotel has continued to this day and is still open for people to go to experience all of this stuff they want at their own risk.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to go here sometime. This place has also been featured on Ghost Hunters and Ghost Adventures and various other paranormal shows. I'm curious if BuzzFeed Unsolved or what are they called? Now they're Ghost Files, if they've ever done it. I don't know, because it is an active hotel.
Yeah. Well, they've done some active places, I think.
Okay.
They just do them they usually rent out the place or something.
Yeah, I don't think you can necessarily rent out as much of a hotel like this, but nonetheless, this place has been featured many. So, what are your thoughts on it?
Well, if it gives any kind of vibes like The Shining does, then it's definitely fit for people who like the paranormal. Like I said, I definitely don't think that I would be able to stay and try to sleep in one of the rooms that are specifically haunted, but I would definitely go do an investigation.
Well, I'm pretty sure if you try and book those rooms, I'm assuming
that they're either really expensive or they're not bookable.
Let's see. Specials and packages there. Colorado residents get a special rate there.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, damn. They got suites. Let's see. 217, the Stephen King suite is what it's now called.
Oh, cool.
See, are any of the other ones suites that were mentioned? The Lord Dunraven suite, the Family Attic suite, the Cowboy
Alice.
Attic. One is called the Cowboy Attic. I don't know if that's related to the Cowboy Ghost.
I'm assuming so. Because he was on the 4th floor, wasn't he?
Yeah. Damn, that's interesting. So yeah, there's special rooms, but you have to ask for certain ones, and I believe they are quite popular.
Yeah, I would assume so.
But so, what are your thoughts? Do you think this place is haunted?
Definitely sounds like it. And I mean, clearly people have had a lot of experiences, and Stephen King had some kind of vibe there that he wrote that movie.
Being in a grand
That book and then
hotel,
the movie.
being the only guest would give vibes for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Also, if you hear some click clack, and Atlas is trying to bite metal, and I'm trying to stop him. I do think it is a haunted place based on everything I've heard about. I haven't seen anything myself, but I do think there is a good chance. Now, in conclusion, the Stanley Hotel is a beautiful grand hotel in Estes Park, Colorado. After over 100 years, it has still stood the test of time. Be that from running down, explosions, various winters, and the various publicity it's gotten from the book The Shining and the subsequent movie. Today, it still stands, haunted by the many ghosts that are said to reside through the halls and rooms, whether it be Lord Dunraven, the cowboy, or the Elizabeth Wilson, the maid, or many of the other various spirits that may not have it names.
Mm-hmm.
Do they truly haunt? Do they truly roam these halls? Let us know in the comments if you think they are.
Yeah.
With that, I think that's everything we have for this place.
That's awesome.
Do you have any other final things to say, or can I wrap us up here?
I'm all good to wrap up.
All right. Well, thank you guys for listening. If you guys are liking what you're hearing, go check out our other episodes. Go follow us on Instagram at Unknown Unsolved Unseen Pod. And if you are really liking the podcast, go follow us on Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts. Like, comment, leave reviews. We appreciate every little bit. It all matters and all helps. And we really like all the support you guys give us. It means the world to us. And we're approaching 1,000 listens. Or we might already be there. I don't know. Some of the calculations are weird. But thank you guys for all the listens and all the support. Keep going. And if you're interested in getting live stream tickets to the Windy City Pear Fest, the link will be in the description. And you can use code UUU to get $5 off your live stream ticket. All right. And with that all being said, Sage, you ready to get us out here?
Yep.
And remember,
to look for
the unknown,
the unsolved,
and the unseen.
Don't open the elevator doors.
Red rum. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Don't get lost in the freezing maze.